Hey, good morning. It's 6:45 on this Wednesday morning. I'm Nick Wilson.
I'm Ami Hannon.
And I'm Ethan Foreman.
All right, well, the last couple days have felt somewhat calm out there in the forecast.
They sure have. It has been a little bit smoky, but it's not looking like we're just going to see as much smoke today. Ethan, is that right?
That is correct, Avia. We are seeing less smoky conditions. As you can see, a little more blue skies on our Total Motors camera in Lamar's, Iowa, and fairly calm winds at the moment, but that changes a little bit as we head into this afternoon. Temperatures are in the 50s and 60s to start the day. 57 in Cherokee, 58 in Spencer, and in Sioux City, currently sitting at 64 in Norfolk and Neely. We'll see those high temperatures today climbing into the, or for yesterday rather, climbed into the low 90s after starting out in the mid 40s. That is just 2 degrees above that record for the low temperature, so very close to record lows, but that high temperature was 10 degrees above average. What a difference, right? That's a 45-degree change from the low to the high. We'll see a little bit more moist air today, so not quite as big of a difference as we see highs into the low to mid 90s, and that's because of muggy air conditions as well, as we see that particularly, especially on Sunday, where we could see dew points in the 70s part of that day. More details on some of those rain chances in your full forecast.
Well, the need for improvements at a 90-year-old jail are once again in the spotlight after an inmate nearly escaped the facility in Sac County.
And KCAU-9 reporter Travis Chin shares what he found out when he checked out the jail for himself.
This isn't a house behind me. This is the Sac County Jail, and it's 90 years old. And according to the sheriff, a recent incident at the jail is highlighting the need for a new facility. According to Sac County Sheriff Ken McClure, on June 4th, inmate Artis Karazins of Lakeview was able to squeeze through the food pass-through on the door as the jailer was placing food into the cell. Karazin got out, assaulted the jailer, and chased the jailer down steps into the booking area, where 2 deputy sheriffs were able to subdue him and get him into handcuffs. Karazin was sent to Loring Hospital in Sac City for observation before being transported to the Woodbury County Jail.
That slot is 14 inches wide, 8 inches high. You know, our newer ones are half that size, you know, and that just goes back to, you know, we have a 90-year-old jail. We're just not set up for security and safety for that reason. You know, we're very fortunate that we didn't get somebody seriously hurt that day.
According to the sheriff, it's incidents like this that shows a new facility is needed.
It's an example of inmates that we're just not designed to hold here. Our jail's so old, we don't have a secure way to keep them. We don't have a padded cell for inmates that are having either they're intoxicated and violent, or they're having psychotic events and they're uncontrolling.
A new jail would solve that problem and help prevent more incidents like this.
The new jail construction, first of all, would have see-through glass or mirrored glass from the corridor, so that the jailer could have looked in and saw the inmate potentially charging. Where this, you know, it's just a steel door and you have to get up on your tippy toes to look in. The window's only so wide.
Right now, the jail can hold 24 inmates, and during a typical year, up to 300 inmates will be booked into the jail. But they can't hold female inmates here, and females have to be held at other nearby jails. And that costs money.
BV County charges us $75 a day. I think Ida County's charging us $55 a day. Carroll County, I believe, was charging us $60 a day.
A bond vote for a new jail was held last November and fell just over 1% short of the 60% needed to pass. The sheriff hopes to have another vote for a new jail this November, but there's a lot to do before then, like find out the updated cost projections.
So once we get those cost projections, we'll get that to the bonding agency, figure out what our tax impact is going to be on our citizens. We now have a jail committee that's formed. We'll bring that to the jail committee, and hopefully they'll make a recommendation to the Board of Supervisors then to call for a special election in November.
If the jail is approved, it will be built across the street from the current jail and will take about 2 years to complete. In Sac City, Iowa, Travis Chin, KCAU-9 News.
Well, elsewhere in Siouxland, 2 Metro softball teams came together at East High School in Sioux City for a cause that hits close to home. East and Bishop Heelan both took part in a strikeout cancer event organized by the National Fast Pitch Coaches Association. T-shirts, stickers, and ice cream floats were all on sale. The proceeds would go to help Zach Milanoski, who is currently battling brain cancer. Zach is our head morning director here on Good Day Siouxland. He's also a Heelan grad and the nephew of East High softball coach Bubba Milanoski.
Just called her and said, hey, you want to do this with us? And since Zach's a Heelan alumni, it's a for sure yes. Lexi's always been great, and yeah, we just teamed up together, and we're trying to just teach kids that there's more than just softball, and we're all part of this thing called life.
And the Strikeout Cancer Initiative has raised thousands of dollars to help cancer organizations continue their efforts to prevent cancer, save lives, and advocate for those battling the disease.
Looking at the jerseys, looking at the people in the stands, it just puts into perspective that we're all fighting for one cause, which is to find that cure for any type of cancer, and that so many of our family members, friends are affected by this. We love finding ways to help the community, and it being a Heelan alum that we're helping out made it even better.
And before the doubleheader, Zach threw out the ceremonial first pitch to his cousin East 8th grader Josie Milanoski. All money raised from yesterday's event will go to help Zach with medical bills and other expenses.
Well, staying local now, a local library is continuing their annual program where some furry friends help kids practice their reading skills. The Read to Me Dogs event is part of the Sioux City Public Library's summer reading program. Yesterday, every kid who took part got to spend 5 to 6 minutes reading any book to a specially trained therapy dog. Library officials say this gives kids a chance to enjoy reading at a time when they're not focused on school.
We know that during the summer it's really important for kids to read because they've gotten that reading proficiency during the school year, and when they're home during the summer we want to keep them reading. So this is a great way for them to come in, practice their reading, and keep on reading, and maybe a great way just to read out loud.
The library has been providing this opportunity for almost 20 years. Now, if you couldn't make it out yesterday, no worries. Read to Me Dogs will take place every Tuesday from 2 to 3 p.m. through July 1st. Well, speaking of dogs, now it's time to meet today's Stray of the Day, and it's Still Waiting Wednesday. Every Wednesday, we feature a pet at Sioux City Animal Adoption and Rescue who's been waiting quite some time to find a forever home.
That's right, and this is Loki, a 3 to 4 year old male American Bulldog mix that weighs about 95 pounds. He was found on the 1800 block of Villa Avenue about 1 month ago. The rescue says he's a strong guy that loves people. And he's the kind of dog who loves to run and play, but he also enjoys just chilling out on the couch sometimes. Loki is available for adoption now. And if you've lost your pet, you're looking to adopt, or you'd like to sponsor a pet for adoption, you can visit the rescue's website. That's at SiouxCityAnimalRescue.com. Loki sure looks like a nice dog. Love the multiple colors he's got there on his fur. Absolutely. I also love his name. I think that's very funny and it fits him pretty well. Yeah, I'm pretty sure we did feature him a while back too. I do remember that name, so definitely has been waiting a while. Please go adopt a pet as soon as possible. Yeah, he's been waiting, and we've been waiting for some rain in the parts of the area here. Are we getting any today? Well, the majority of us probably not. Some of us will, but most of us probably won't, as we see that marginal risk of severe weather across the area, with that including areas like Bloomfield, Wayne, toward just north of Tekamah, and to the north and east of that line rather. But West Point, Tekamah, Norfolk, and Neely have been removed for now from that severe risk for today. There's also another risk for tomorrow for the majority of the area, with the exception of southeastern parts of Harrison County. We do see those chances both today and tomorrow, both timing between 2 and 10 p.m. both days, where quarter-sized hail, 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts, and even some street flooding will be possible. Tornadoes are not expected at this time. Satellite and radar does show that we do see that cold front and stationary front nearby, with some clouds to our north. You'll see those clouds will slowly move their way southward as we head through the daytime, with a chance of some showers and storms. However, that stationary front I was showing you yesterday looked like it was going to travel more south. Now it looks like it's not even going to reach the Highway 20 corridor for some of us, and so that's going to heat up our temperatures more, and that does push the severe risk a little further north. So we'll continue to keep an eye on that as we head into the evening and overnight hours. That transitions to a warm front and moves its way back into South Dakota and Minnesota as we head through the daytime on Thursday, giving us another chance of a few pop-up showers and storms Thursday afternoon and evening, some of which could also be severe then as well, as we see those rainfall amounts highest to the north. Again, as I mentioned, but at the end of the stray of the day, we are seeing those rainfall amounts staying very low, with most of us not seeing anything at all. Some of those heaviest bands could see as much as ½ an inch or 1 inch of rainfall when all said and done. Sunny early, still hot with late day storms. High temperature of 94, dropping down to 62 tonight with early storms, partly cloudy and warm. Your 9 on 9 forecast shows we stay on the warm side of things for quite a while. Those highs in the 80s and lows in the 60s. Another chance of showers late in the day on Father's Day into the first part of next week. Heating up again as we see warmer and less humid conditions returning for guest weather at the Lamar's Ice Cream Days with Chief Meteorologist Victor Perez on Thursday, June 19th.
All right, now let's take a look at this morning's top stories.
What you need to know before you go. And progress is moving forward on repairing the Little Sioux Park's boat ramp, which was damaged during last year's flooding. Last night, the Woodbury County Board of Supervisors approved a $65,000 allocation to pay for the boat ramp repairs. FEMA has already approved funding for the project and will reimburse the county. However, the timing for that is not yet known. The project had been held up until now due to funding issues. Repair work is now expected to begin next month.
And elsewhere, the most recent meeting of the South Dakota Prison Task Force saw lawmakers narrow down their list of potential locations for the new state men's prison. At this point, the remaining options are Mitchell, Worthing, and any current prison site. However, lawmakers are concerned that one of those current sites, the state penitentiary in Sioux Falls, may not have enough room.
I think it's too soon to know whether there's an adequate amount of space at the current site. There's only 28 acres, and we know that I believe 16 of those acres can be used. I believe we heard from our consultants that they don't believe even that amount of land can be used. We need to be really considerate of the space that we choose because we do need space for rehabilitative services.
The group Neighbors Opposing Prison Expansion, or NOPE, has spoken out against the original Lincoln County site, as well as the proposed site in Mitchell and Worthing. The group says an all-new site and structure would cost taxpayers too much.
Well, elsewhere in Iowa, families in Rock Valley, Iowa have a new reason to feel some optimism. This as recovery work continues following last year's flooding. Yesterday morning, the city celebrated its new housing developments nearly 1 year after the floodwaters rose. Rock Valley Mayor Kevin Van Otterloo says he's pleased with the support the community has received from Iowa Governor Kim Reynolds.
Governor Reynolds has been fantastic for Rock Valley. She's been here numerous times. She likes the way that we keep working hard and moving forward.
Once completed, the development will include around 195 new homes and apartments on new or existing lots.
Well, and the weather sure looked nice for that development. It looked pretty sunny, and you didn't see much smoke in that video.
Absolutely. Well, it sounds like today is not going to be as smoky, but definitely pretty muggy. Ethan, what are we going to expect?
Yeah, that's right, Avia. We'll see dew points climb in the 60s as we see a little bit of a breeze out of the south switching to the east, 5 to 15 miles per hour. Sunshine early, followed by late day storms, still hot with a high temperature all the way up to 94, dropping down to 62 tonight as we see early storms and warm conditions. Your 9 on 9 forecast shows we're still going to see those warm conditions through the end of the week and even into next week as well. The coolest day still near average next Tuesday with some showers and storms then. Still looking mostly dry for Father's Day, but stay cool, stay hydrated out there as we see those highs in the 80s and 90s for a while. Have a wonderful Wednesday, stay weather aware, and stay safe.